Tonight, Miami's no-name defense will again try to set the pace for the Dolphins. Last year, they ranked 24th in total defense. Today, they're number 1. Jeff Cross up front is leading the AFC in sacks. Former 49er Tim Mackay has brought confidence to the secondary, whilst their huge safety, Lewis Oliver, has come up with the big play. Today, they take on the New York Jets, a team still finding its way under the guidance of new head coach Bruce Coslett. So far this season, their leadership has come from their special teams. 17-year veteran place kicker Pat Leahy has only missed 1 kick all year, and rookie kick returner Terrence Mathis tied an NFL record last week with this 98-yard punt return for a touchdown. But if history has anything to do with the result of this match, it should be a shootout between two of the league's most potent quarterbacks. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the show. Tonight, it's the Jets and the Dolphins. In the past, when Ken O'Brien and Dan Marino have gone head-to-head, they've had their best games. And a quarterback that's having his best year this season is my studio guest today.
Brister with all day for Eric Green. The tight end's got it. He's got a Pittsburgh touchdown.
Bubby Brister, welcome to the show.
Nice to be here, thank you.
Midway through the season, do you like having a week off?
We did need a week off. It's nice to have a week off to heal up. We're banged up a little bit, and it's good to have some time off.
You've got pretty hot in recent weeks, and tonight's game, we've got 2 hot quarterbacks. What do you think of them?
They're both excellent quarterbacks. I think Dan Marino is one of the best in the league. He has a strong arm. He has some talent around him that he can get the ball to him. And he's a classic pocket passer, and when he has time to throw, he can get the ball and put it on the money. And we've played him this year, and he threw a couple of touchdown passes against us, and he's an excellent quarterback.
How about the Jets with Ken O'Brien?
Ken O'Brien is a great quarterback also. I think when he has time to throw, he can get the job done. He's in offense right now in his first year with the new system, and they're having some trouble up front with their offensive line, but when he has time to throw, he can put the ball on the money and he can be deadly.
You played Miami in week 4, and then the Jets played them in week 5. The Jets lost that game, a close one, 20-16. What do you think the Jets have to do today to beat Miami?
Well, they're going to have to move the ball on Miami's defense. I think Miami's playing great defense right now. And when we played them, I threw 3 interceptions and they stopped our running game. I think they have to get their running game going so play-action pass will work. It's going to be tough, though.
How about the Jets? Now, you play them later in the year. What do you think for Miami? Do they have to take advantage of weaknesses? Do the Jets have strengths? What would you do against them?
Well, it's gonna be interesting for me also as we play them later in the year. They have a new coach. I think some of their philosophies are different. So it's going to be difficult for us to figure out what we're going to have to do. I'm really not sure what they're going to have to do, but I know one thing: they better keep Dan Marino off the field.
So who's going to win today?
I think Miami should win this one.
All right, well, now let's go to the Meadowlands. It's going to be a little bit cold for the Dolphins. Our match commentators are Bill Walsh and Dick Enberg. Enjoy the game.
Stoyanovich, who has not missed a field goal all season long, will kick it off to the Jets. And Terrence Mathis and Don Odegaard, 2 speedsters, are back. Mathis, the man who returned a punt 98 yards for a touchdown last week, and he takes it at the 5. And down at the 20-yard line. And here come the green jersey Jets and number 7 quarterback Ken O'Brien. Criswell and Hayden, Iowa connection on the left side. Sweeney at center. Maddich and Miller, the right side of the offensive line in front of O'Brien. Blair Thomas, the Penn State #1 draft pick. Brad Baxter, a bull of a blocker. Toon and Moore, the outside receivers. Moore from Syracuse. Mark Boyer, tight end. He goes out along with those 2 backs, and they go to their 4 wide. Freeman McNeil comes in along with Chris Burkett and Terrence Mathis.
Dick, look for the Jets to throw on first down, hoping to catch this team off balance.
And it is O'Brien back to throw. And completes it to Al Toon. And the Music Man has a first down out at the 38-yard line, as Toon has now caught a pass in 71 consecutive games.
Crossing patterns, that seems to be the vogue in the NFL this year. People breaking across the field and finding the other side of the field and zone defenders not seeing them coming. You'll see Toon coming across. Really, the defense couldn't respond to the side which he broke. Starting out very, very well. And I think O'Brien was able to get one off before that pressure got to him.
From the 38-yard line, these are the scripted plays of Kozlet. It's a fullback back through, fumbles, and a scramble in the Jets' backfield, and New York recovers. Oh, my. Might have been O'Brien himself or Criswell. 61 Jeff Criswell, the left tackle, fell on that loose ball.
Kozlet wants to establish a ground game, and I don't think he's going to get it done.
Criswell from Searsboro, Iowa, a town of 150 and a lot of cornfields.
You see a lot of people waiting for that ball. Everybody's there. Comes right out. And this is what we've been talking about with a new defense. The Jets were really lucky to have that ball bounce to them.
The loss of a couple. Delay and the give to Blair Thomas. He's to the 40, and that's all. And it's a swarming Dolphin defense.
Blair had to break completely away from his blocking.
Jeff Cross made that tackle. There's Turner, Lee, and Cross, the starting front three with Griggs, Offerdahl, Odom, and Green. Griggs and Odom give the Dolphins that physical kind of play that they have lacked the last few years. McKyer, the 49er, and Brown are at the corners, and the safeties, two young and two outstanding safeties in Williams and Oliver. And there's Jeff Cross, 9 sacks this year to lead Miami at 10.
Look at this formation, Dick. 4 wide receivers on one side of the field.
O'Brien looks the other way and finds wide open Dale Dawkins. And Dale Dawkins has his first catch as a pro. What do you call that formation?
Gee, that's a high 5. I notice there's 5 receivers on the field, 4 on one side. And if you're in man-to-man defense, you have to find out who your man is and then sort through him to cover him. But the Miami Dolphins were really in a zone defense, so they're unable to do anything.
Well, it winds up short of a first down by 1.5 yards. And so Joe Prokop, and boy, the kicks are going to be an adventure today. He's kicking into the wind. Tony Martin deep for Miami. He keeps it low. Not a bad idea. And Williams with a fair catch at the 17-yard line. And Miami with the ball for the first time today. And 3 minutes play. There's our anemometer that measures the wind velocity. You can see now at about 12 miles an hour, but it'll gust up to 30. Now that's the wind on the floor of the stadium that is actually opposed to the direction of the wind high atop the stadium, where it is really whipping and starching the flags. Webb and Sims, the rookies on the left side. Ulanay, Galbraith, and Dennis, the oldest lineman, 25. Marino has Page, the ex-Jet, and Sammy Smith. Duper and Clayton, the wide receivers. Farrell Edmonds, the tight end. Those 3 go out when they go to the 4 wide set. Jensen, Martin, and Banks come in. Marino rolling and hitting Mark Clayton for a first down, it would appear, out at the 29-yard line. Jets defense reads this way. Stallworth, Mercero, Bird, the leading sack maker, and Lagaman. They use the 4-3 set. Mott, Clifton, and Kelly Clifton, the leading tacklers. Tony Stargell has been picked on, the rookie corner. Hasty on the other side with Curtis and McMillan, the safeties. Curtis playing today for Brian Washington, injured. When they go to their nickel, Michael Mays and Don Odegaard come in as extra DBs.
Well, Stargell was hit right away. Clayton's going to be after Stargell all day. He's a rookie, and he's not playing with a lot of confidence.
The give is to Sammy Smith, slashing off the left side for a big gain to the 37, a pickup of 8 before Hasty and Curtis can collaborate.
Smith coming in with a slightly strained knee, so we may not see as much of him as you normally would, just breaking off to the outside, and the Jets lost leverage. They didn't contain him that time. Play designed to go outside, but Smith running a little gingerly today.
2 games versus the Jets in his young history, 3.6 average. The Jets are allowing 5 yards, the worst in the NFL defending the rush. 5-yard average. Second in the short 2. Smith caught in the backfield and ripped down by Scott Mercero, the veteran from Southern Connecticut, number 94.
This Jet defense is identical to the defense that Minnesota with Floyd Peters has been running for a number of years. And Pete Carroll, the defensive coordinator, worked with Minnesota for 5 years. So you'll see this team with 8 men near the line of scrimmage virtually every down, almost forcing Marino to pass.
There's Carroll. He's 39. Looks much younger, doesn't he? He's one of 5 defensive coordinators in the league that are in their 30s. Marino through the hands of Fred Banks, number 86, and Miami will have to punt.
Marino had to get rid of that ball. That's not what he wanted to do, but Washington, number 97, was all over him. He had to make that quick release and use that release of his to get rid of the ball before he got sacked. So thus far, you'd have to say Jets are up to the occasion.
And here's Roby, who's really kicked well the last 3 games, over a 45-yard average. There's Mathis, the man who tied an NFL record with a 98-yard touchdown return of a punt against Dallas last week. Roby has the wind at his back. Doesn't use the wind. Mathis squeaks out to the 20-yard line, and a timeout with 10:21 remaining in a scoreless first quarter.
Welcome back. The Jets couldn't move the ball on their next drive, so we pick up the action with Miami in possession.
First down from the 44 for the Dolphins. No score. Midpoint first quarter. Both teams having trouble moving the ball early. Marino underneath, incomplete to Mark Clayton. He guns the ball short. Clayton won't drop many of those. 23 catches this year.
Marino put a lot on that ball, and it traveled such a short distance. Clayton didn't have a chance to adjust, but now that's 2 drops for Mark. He's not having a super year. Of course, they're not throwing him that much, but in this particular game, with an 8-man front, a la the Minnesota Vikings, that Carroll's put together, the pass should be dominating the game plan for Miami. Wind or no wind.
23, Troy Stratford down the backfield behind Marino. That's Tony Page with Stratford. And the Jets offside. And Marino throws out of bounds to Duper, I believe. No, Clayton. Clayton says he's inbounds. But the first signal was he waved it out of play. No catch. Now they talk it over.
The Jets just can't afford to make any mistakes. That offside, they say he did catch it.
Changed his mind, and they rule it a catch out at the Jets 46.
You'll see an offside on the left. That's pretty evident. Now Dan's going to time an out pattern to the left side, and there's one. There's a drag. Yeah, he got it. That's fine. Real pro kind of catch. No question about it. But the Jets can't make any mistakes, even an offside like that.
Offside, defense, 5-yard penalty. The penalty is accepted. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Second down.
Instead of 2nd and 1, they took it at first and 5, or 2nd and 5. It would have been 3rd and 1. Dick Hantak is the referee.
Sometimes you can question decisions. I'd have to question that one.
This is Mark Logan, who really runs hard, but runs into 2 tough Jet defenders. Eric McMillan streaking up from his safety position, number 22, to aid Joe Kelly, the linebacker.
Now McMillan and Curtis both coming from the secondary. The Jets are trying to hide what they have in mind, but they're going to come up and force this play from the inside out. There's McMillan. Good shot. Hasty getting in on it. The enthusiasm of this Jet team is a dramatic departure from a year ago. Again, coaching has been a major factor.
McMillan, who's led the Jets in interceptions 8 and 6 his first 2 years, but only 2 this season. His role has changed. He's making more tackles. There's a throw underneath to Jensen, and a first down as Jensen, the 3rd down receiver, comes in, and Marino finds him, even though everyone in the ballpark knows it's going to be Jensen.
Before the game, I just got some stats together. He's caught 12 3rd down passes, and this is number 13 in the season. I think it's only about his 20th catch. So he comes in on 3rd down, and they've thrown the ball on 3rd down.
It's only his 18th catch, and he is the
18th
bread and butter guy on 3rd down.
You know, I sort of pushed Jim Jensen into this role. I coached him, we coached him in the Senior Bowl as a quarterback. we didn't put him in the game.
At Boston University, where he broke a lot of fabled Harry Aganis' records. To the 39-yard line, blasts Sammy Smith. Gerald Davis, Scott Mercereau with a tackle, a gain of close to 5 at the 39 of the Jets.
You know, you talk about developing personnel. Don Shula with Jim Jensen. Now, how could you ever think a tall, angular quarterback would ever be a pass receiver in later years and play as many years as he has? 10 years.
And a great special teams
Oh,
player.
yeah, and that's how he volunteered to be a kickoff man with Shula because he was so bored standing on the sideline as a third quarterback. They let him do it. He made a great hit. From then on, he's been valuable.
Marino down the middle to Clayton. Is that interference? Yes, it is. Tony Stargell a little early on the contact to Clayton.
Looked like Stargell was going for the ball. It really did. Maybe they have a better angle on it from where we sit. He was breaking on the ball. He wasn't playing the receiver. He was, oh, maybe he was. Maybe our angle isn't quite so good, Dick.
Condemning evidence.
The Jets just have to keep the game close. And when I say that, any game you'd want to give that reference point. But in this case, if they get behind, they don't have near the offense against the Miami defense to overcome anything. So they've got to keep it close into the second half.
17-yard line, first down for Marino and the Dolphins. He sends Duper left and brings Clayton in motion. And gives to Smith. Fumble! And Smith recovers his own mistake. A good defensive play, reaching in and stripping him away. It appeared to be Kyle Clifton.
Smith recovers his fumble.
Clifton filled the hole. As soon as he saw that guard in front of him block down, you'll see him come flying. You see the guard block down. He flies into the hole, takes on Page, and makes basically a stop, although that ball came out of there a little early. Clifton is having a great year. Page is having a great year. And both of these guys, some years ago, were drafted by the Jets and were teammates.
In fact, Bruce Koslick said Clifton's been his biggest surprise. Marino almost sacked and unloads it, and no flag. He did have a receiver in the area, Troy Stratford. It was Gerald Nichols, number 77, with the pressure. He from Florida State.
Well, that quick release got Marino a fighting chance here because in this case, if O'Brien were in this position, he'd have been sacked. But Marino gets the ball off. And that's the difference in the two quarterbacks.
3rd and 10 for Miami. Complete to Duper. And he struggles for the first down. What a play. They had him at the 9-yard line where it would have been 4th and 2. And Duper charges to the 5. First and goal.
The Jets went all out for Marino. Backed up like this, they sent everybody. And it's that slant pattern is thrown so sharp and so hard that it really couldn't be stopped. And you notice where he caught it, into his body. It wasn't thrown out in front. Marino is almost pinpoint in accuracy.
Boy, Marino loving Duper's second effort as he dragged Don Odegaard, the rookie defensive back, an extra 4 yards in the first and goal. 8th play of this drive, no score. 3.5 minutes left first quarter. Smith. And Sammy to the 1-yard line. Gerald Davis and company drag him down. Mercereau there as well.
You know, there was a time when the Dolphins were at their best in 1984. When they'd get in this position, Marino would throw 3 straight passes to get the touchdown. That's the difference between this team and the last great one that Don Shula had.
From the 1. Tony Page. No, Marino keeps it and he loses a yard.
Well, we were just talking about how they'll run the ball and he went ahead and tried to play pass instead. I think the old habits, they almost revert to them. Here, Dan Marino's going to run a play pass. See this? He's holding on to the. Maybe not.
Looked no, like there's no one to hand it off to.
No, it's a play pass. It was a play pass, and he couldn't even get the fake in. Look for Marino to hand off here and run a draw play. Nope. All by himself. There's a draw.
Quarterback draw doesn't work. Great charge defensively by the middle of the Jets line to stack it up, led by Gerald Nichols.
The Jets isolated everybody to the outside, then ran a man in motion. Marino tried to draw play, but it was engulfed. So the strategy backfired on him, and the Dolphins have sort of left what they do best to try to outsmart somebody. And the Jets were just playing too aggressive. They weren't about to buy something like that.
That brings on perfect Pete Stoyanovich, 12 for 12 this year. This one a 29-yard, make that a 24-yard attempt. And he's 13 for 13, and Miami leads 3-0. Final minute and a half, first quarter. Short field goal by Stoyanovich, and Miami has the early lead. They work on their defensive schemes across the way with the New York Jets. Kicking into the wind now as Odegaard and Mathis will deploy to return. And it's blowing hard enough now that Jarvis Williams has to serve as a holder for Stoyanovich, who takes only a 5-yard run-up.
You know, this really was a sort of a moral escape or moral victory for the Jets to give up only 3 points when Miami had first and goal with that running game they've developed. So the Jets are staying with it just by those tactics. 3 points they can overcome.
Mathis from New Mexico. Hit hard at the 20, and down goes the yellow flag. E.J. Jr., the veteran from Alabama, on the special teams with a tackle. So O'Brien's numbers in the first game as the Jets almost beat Miami down at Joe Robbie. In the last minute or so, a pass to Duper from Marino to knock off the Jets 20-16. Fumble by the rookie Thomas, and it's recovered by whom? Right at the goal line.
The Dolphins are coming up the field so hard that the blockers can't get to them. That time the guard and tackle pulled, and the defenders had penetrated so far they couldn't even block them. So the ball's knocked out of there almost immediately.
It was David Griggs who forced the fumble, and the Jets recover. Almost a safety against the Jets. There's Griggs, who's made a couple of big hits already. That's one of those physical players that has pleased Shula thus far this year.
Well, Griggs and Turner came up the field so hard that there wasn't anybody there to block them. Well, you see them come up the field all the way to the ball. Here it is. The ball's knocked out almost immediately by Griggs, but there's nothing there. Those kinds of plays just aren't going to make it.
Yeah, the Jets fortunate to wind up with the ball. Play action, and O'Brien hits Johnny Hector for a short gain, but at least it gets him off the goal line.
That would have given a first down, because Hector slipped and fell, or they'd have gotten their first down. You see people sitting there waiting for it. 3 people making contact.
3rd and 15.
This is the difference in Miami's style of play this year. A year ago, they'd all been sitting back and have gotten blocked.
Well, Miami with a 3-0 lead in the final seconds of this first period, and remember, the Jets are kicking into the wind if they are not able to come up with a big play on 3rd and 15. Freeman McNeil, the only running back. 4 wide. O'Brien, plenty of time, and can't find Terrence Mathis. That would have been enough for a first down. So with 17 seconds left in the quarter, on comes Joe Prokop to try to get a hold of a long one. But in this wind, it's very difficult to get any distance, especially left to right. And so Miami should come up with excellent field position. Tony Martin, in fact, is standing at the Jets' 40-yard line.
O'Brien had time he's never had before. Just by chance, all the Miami pass rushers widened out and ran past him. So he was in a position really to complete that pass, and was nervous, I think, because he assumed he'd get hit.
Great kick against the wind. Driving Martin back, and he fumbles it. He muffs it. It's a live ball, and the Jets recover at the 40-yard line. Chris Burkett.
Well, Dick, we spoke about it before the game and early in the game. This wind can drive a coach crazy and drive players crazy. That ball suddenly took off and was almost impossible to judge. And these are the kinds of breaks that the Jets need.
Joe Prokop, he got the ball high enough so that the high wind carried it. And I know it sounds confusing, but the wind on the field goes right to left, but the predominant wind is from the west. And when you get it high enough in this stadium, then you're going to get a little carry, which he did.
4 wide receivers for the Jets. They're going to open it up right at this point. No, they're not.
Freeman McNeil charging to the 36-yard line. The 31-year-old veteran from UCLA giving a solid yardage to this Jets offense. The end of the first quarter. Yard punt, a big play. The muff by Martin and the recovery at the 40 by the Jets, who position themselves now for a chance to attack Miami's 3-0 lead as we open the second period.
There's a little game going on both sides. Bruce Cosell is keeping his team on the sideline and breaking up without a huddle. That means Miami has to wait and see who's coming out to know who to play on defense.
McNeil, big hole, and he has a first down at the 25.
There was a hole, no question about it. McNeil didn't have to make any kind of move in the hole. He just turned it on. The wham play by the halfback blocking the nose guard. McNeil splits people and works up the field, but there was something there.
Well, all 4 Jets ball carriers are averaging over 4 yards a carry this year. They have been able to run it.
Looked like Overdahl just didn't fill quickly enough.
Well, Hector this time just couldn't get to the corner. Well shut off as Jarvis Williams, one of those talented safeties, came up to help out veteran Hugh Green, 55.
Both safeties are able to come up. They can see that ball coming. You see the break to the outside. You know, if it could be legislated to eliminate one play from football, it's that off-tackle play by the tailback. Every team runs it almost to get a breath between making the kind of calls that'll win the game. These kind of, I bet league-wide it averages less than 2 yards a carry.
On second and long, O'Brien crosses him up for the run, and McNeil tripped up at the 19 by Cliff Odom. Let's go back to the off-tackle play. Why is that not working?
Well, everybody gets there before the ball carrier does. Now here's another case of that lead play. They just ran, and Overdahl is blocked by the guard. And it took Odom to come across and make the stop. They're going right at them. But that I formation play, off tackle, that Inky from, who was it? Inky Woods from Cincinnati made popular a few years ago. Everybody's calling that almost to give themselves time to use other tactics because it goes nowhere. Team after team use it. It drives me crazy as sort of a pass-oriented former coach.
3rd and 4, McNeil the only running back. O'Brien. Kinds of room to run. And they call him Obi, and his teammates say Slowby. Was he fast enough to get the first down? Bobley made the tackle.
It looked like he could go for the goal line, and he got 3 yards.
He got the first down.
He breaks outside and tries to fake the pass, but to no avail. But he did get the first down.
To the 14-yard line of the Dolphins. Miami leads 3-0. 12:20 left in the first half. 5 straight running plays, although that last one wasn't intended. There's Baxter, the big fullback, inside the 10. He's from Alabama State. It was a project last year on the Jets developmental squad. And Coslet said he improved more than any one player since I've arrived.
And when Bruce came in, he really wasn't sold on him at all. He'd been an 11th round pick by Minnesota and released. It's interesting how many players are even late round picks released and finally find a new life related to the system and maybe their maturity.
2nd and 5 at the 9. Hector. Close to the 5-yard line, just shy of a first down. It'll be 3rd and 1. And And the Dolphin defense, counting the first quarter today, has shut out the running game from the end zone 21 quarters. In fact, the last touchdown against the Dolphins on the ground was Otis Anderson here at the Meadowlands when Miami lost to the New York Giants.
The Jets are playing a good, sound, conservative ball game. They're not trying to fool anybody. And this is the kind of attitude you develop that when the talent finally gets there, there'll be a winner, a big winner.
Hector, oh, nothing there. There's your favorite player. That off-tackle slant, and you're right, it does seem to draw a crowd.
Well, they got a little bit out of it the play before and repeated it.
So on comes the field goal unit, and that means veteran Pat Leahy, second oldest in the league at 39. Joe Ferguson at 30 is the real gray beard of the NFL. This former All-America soccer player at St. Louis University has had another big year, 14 for 15, never been to the Pro Bowl.
That's amazing over the years. Ray Worthing for the 49ers was like that. Great career, but once you get locked into the Pro Bowl, often it's the same kickers every year that keep coming back, and they don't really give consideration to new people, and this guy's hardly new.
Oh, just like Stoyanovich from 24 yards, it's Leahy to tie it up at 3-0.
So the score is level. Neither team could move the ball on their next possession. We rejoin the game, and Miami has the ball.
Third and a big 13 with 2 minutes to go. Jets want the ball. Might have been offside. Their flags are down, and the pass incomplete. That's a shame. As Fred Banks unable to get to the ball, it appeared that Marvin Washington, for the second time, had leaned offside, and that'll give Marino another play.
Marino does a beautiful job with his cadence, his snap count.
Offsides, defense, number 97, 5-yard penalty, repeat the down, third down.
3rd and 8.
Marino historically has done things, and Washington just hasn't adapted to that snap count, to that cadence.
Jets, one of the most penalized teams in the league this year, and Miami has been typical of Shula teams, the least penalized.
All the Jets are right up into that line of scrimmage right now. I'd assume they'll back out of there, but they're showing full blitz.
Offside again. This time it was one of the linebackers. Underneath, the pass complete to Stratford right at the sticks. Might have been about a yard shy. This time it was Jeff Loggeman who was offside. They might measure first to see if it's a first down before the Dolphins elect to either take the penalty or the play.
Offside, defense, penalty is declined, first down.
So it's a first down. That's why they declined the penalty. So Bruce Coslett's young defense self-destructed there. They had Miami stopped, would have gotten the ball, but 2 offside penalties, although the second not affected the pass complete anyway. But the pass that was incomplete on 3rd down, Washington's offside gave Marino the second chance. Martin, boy, did that ball sail. Martin looking for it in front of him, and the ball 5 yards behind him.
I must say that with all our improvement in the running game, the Miami pass protection is not what it used to be. Maybe they're not giving it as much time. I'm sure that's a factor. But Marino is having to release that ball. That's why it's just inaccurate enough not to get the good catch off it. And that time Washington was right there.
And the Jets feel that the one player they need going into next year is a impact pass rusher. They've got some good rushers, but they don't have the guy that you really have to build your offense around stopping.
They don't have anybody that you have to account for specially.
Marino ducking away from pressure, and Jensen unable to make the catch on a little flip-flop push shot by Marino. And it was Washington putting on the heat. Loggeman there as well.
Wouldn't it be something with all the improvement on defense? Improved running game that you can't pass like you used to, but that's what it looks like so far today. The wind's somewhat of a factor, but they're just not getting open, and the linemen are giving too much ground in the face of Marino, so he can't go to alternate receivers.
1:43 left in the first half. Miami 3, the Jets 3. This is 3rd and 10 for Marino. intercepted. Is he still in bounds? Yes, Travis Curtis, and he is to the Miami 44-yard line.
Marino had 3 people right down his throat when he tried to throw that ball. It was almost a hope shot.
And Marvin Washington hit him just as he released the ball. For Curtis, his second interception of the year, and this was an outstanding defensive play. And so, with plenty of time, 1:33 seconds, the underdog Jets with a chance for the lead. They start at the 44 of the Dolphins. Raymond McNeil falls to the 40. Well, it was a muff punt that led to the Jets' first field goal.
Jets have to. Now, this is the part of the game that is almost the last to develop, the 2-minute offense or the 1-minute offense. It just takes years to really develop it and refine it, like the 49ers now have it. And the Jets are so young, don't expect too much in this situation.
Ryan, short pass to the tight end Boyer. He's to the 35-yard
Go
line.
out of bounds, Boyer. He's right on the sideline. That's why the play's designed. He gets it late, moves up the sideline, jumps out of bounds, and they have to call a timeout.
Donald Francis Shula, his 28th year, the National Football League, prancing on the sidelines. His team guilty of a muff punt and now an interception. And the Jets with 50 seconds to go, 3rd and short, looking for the lead. From the 35, McNeil, and again, the passes to the outside with this wind seem to really drift. Now 4th and what does Kozla do? Is he going to go for it? Apparently. Too far for the field goal try. It would be about a 52-yard field goal with the wind, if there is such a thing, the way this crazy wind operates, swirling in Giant Stadium. No. Rob Moore unable to get it before it hit the turf. He caught it as it hit the turf simultaneously. Now another official comes in and it ruled it a catch, so let's look at it. Hard to tell from that angle whether Moore got the ball, his hands underneath the ball, between the ball and the carpet.
Well, you don't see him drop it. His hands are right up, boy. Looks like he dropped it, Dick. It looks like it bounced off his hands.
First down, Miami.
So the Dolphins, with 36 seconds left, are at their own 35-yard line.
The choice of plays, as dear as Bruce is to my heart, the choice of those last 2 plays wasn't very good.
Miami from the 35, and with Marino's arm, 36 seconds might be enough. He starts with a screen to Jensen and has blockers. He's to the 50-yard line. Miami calls a timeout. From the 49, Jets territory. Marino, 28 seconds. It's Jensen again, but only a gain of a couple. Kyle Clifton right there.
Well, if the Jets can get out of this without a score, what a break for them. Now it would be a 30-minute game instead of a 60-minute game.
Down the middle, incomplete. A diving try by Troy Stratford. 4 seconds to go. Last play, unless penalty. And Marino floods the left side and then throws the other way to Stratford. Now he has some blockers and fumbles. And finally covered at the 40-yard line as the first half comes to an end. That was about as offensive a play as we've had the entire half. It was all defense. And Pete Carroll's Jets were the match of Miami's #1 defense.
So the halftime score, 3 apiece. The last 9 times that these teams played against each other, they averaged 65 points. I promise. My studio guest this week is Bubby Brister. He was the offensive player of the week last week in the AFC. This is an offensive game. Is it just great defense?
I think both defenses are playing very well right now, and sometimes you have to feel out the opponent in the second half. Usually, you know, you start making some adjustments at halftime, and the second half will be a little bit better, we hope.
When you look around the league, the Bears, Giants, Dolphins, Bills, they're playing great defense, and they're winning most of the games. Is defense dominating this season?
I think so, and defense is the key right now. I think defense wins championships and gets you to the playoffs. I think offense sells tickets right now, but the best thing to have is a good defense. It'll keep you in the game and keep you able to win the game at the end of the game. And we have a pretty good defense too, and that's holding us in there too.
Well, Bubby has promised me that second half is going to have points, so don't go away. We're going to take a break right now. Welcome back, everybody. Before we go back to the Meadowlands, let's go to Gary Imlach, who has those halftime scores of the early games.
And we start with Miami's big divisional rivals, Buffalo. Their quarterback, Jim Kelly, hadn't committed a turnover in 2 games before this one, but he did in the first quarter. A big hit in the backfield, the ball bobbles around, and it's eventually picked up by Cedric Mack and taken down to the 6. From there, Johnny Johnson, the rookie for Phoenix, who leads the NFC in rushing, went over, and that was 7-0 Phoenix, but the Bills came back using their tight ends a lot this year. This throw, 18 yards to Keith McKellar, and then Kelly went long through to Steve Tasker, who was either giving thanks or trying to keep warm down to freezing in Buffalo. And a long day for Joe Bugle's team, 21-7 Bills at halftime. Here's a battle of the Giants, the Colts and the Patriots. Between them, they've lost 9 straight this season. The Patriots lead this one through a Marvin Allen 1-yard run. To Chicago, where the Falcons took a run of 14 consecutive losses on the road. So far, they're having no trouble keeping this one intact. First, Neil Anderson went over for the Bears, then Jim Harbaugh found Wendell Davis, same corner, same distance, and it's 17-3 to the Bears at half-time. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the New Orleans Saints. The Bucs, after losing 3 in a row, decided to bench Vinny Testaverde, brought in Chris Chandler, and he went in for the acrobatic touchdown. 7-0 Buccaneers early, but the Saints came back, and it's 14-7 there. Minnesota Vikings at the Detroit Lions. Rodney Pete's hurt. They put in the rookie Andre Ware instead of Bob Galliano for his mobility, and he showed why early on. Not so good passing, though. 2 of his first 4 passes were intercepted. This one by Joey Browner for the Vikings. The second one, though, by Mike Brim did the real damage, though. The Vikings drove down to the 1, and Herschel Walker couldn't get in from 1 yard out. So they go to Gil Fennerty. He couldn't get in from 1 yard out. Finally, Rich Gannon decides if you want a job doing, do it yourself. 7-0 to the Vikings, and Rich Carlos, the ex-Minnesota kicker, missed a field goal for Detroit with 1 second left in the half. Finally, the Seahawks at the Kansas City Chiefs. 2-1 to the Chiefs in field goals, 6-3 there at half-time. Those are the half-times. I'll be back later with the final scores.
So another big score there, 6-3 Kansas City. Bubby, Buffalo Bills winning right now 21-7.
Their defense is playing great this year, as we talked earlier about the defenses in the league, and Jim Kelly's hot right now. He has 3 touchdown passes. He's a great one.
Kelly's a great one?
He is.
How about their defense?
They're great, too. We may match up with them later on in the playoffs. It'd be nice, but they have a great defense, and we'd have to do something to score some points against them.
Let's talk about the Steelers just for a second. You're saying you're going to have to score some points. At the beginning of this year, 4 games into the season, I don't think you had scored a touchdown, and then suddenly you've now had 13 this year, which is more than you've ever had in a season before.
Right. It just took a while for us to come together. We had a new system, we had new coaches, and terminology was different. We had some problems early in the season, but as we got more repetitions and we got more comfortable with our offense, I think we had confidence in what the coaches were calling. We were executing better, and right now we're one of the hottest teams in the league.
Another team that's doing well and is very hot, the Chicago Bears. They're leading 17-3 right now against Atlanta. How good are they?
They're very good. They have a tenacious defense, too, and Jim Harbaugh this year has come into his own. I don't think he has to look over his shoulder to see if Mike Tomczak's coming in. He is the man in Chicago, and they're playing very well.
Well, interesting story in Atlanta this week. Deion Sanders was called a dog by Stinson, a cornerback with the Bears. Deion then called Stinson at the Bears training facility. and called him what he thought he was. He didn't take to that kindly, but right now Stinson's had the best of the day. He's had an interception and Dion's fumbled it twice. Now let's go back to the Meadowlands. The New York Jets have kicked off, and we pick up the action with Miami in possession.
Out on the ground, and Logan breaks through a hole and out to the 37-yard line. A pickup of about 6. Joe Mott from Iowa made the tackle. Well, Marino is going to be happy when this thing is over. He'd like to take a win and run back to Miami because he has not enjoyed any success in 6 quarters at Giant Stadium this year. Remember, against the Giants, that great Giant defense really muffled his attempts and did not have a good throwing day in the win. And so far, nothing spectacular passing for Marino, who is operating without Mark Clayton. Underneath, Tony Page, the former Jet, who is the leading receiver for Miami. And a flag is down, and it may be a roughing call against the Jets on Marino. Yes, it is. So they'll tack on another 15 from the spot where the play ended at the 48.
The Jets are running line stunts, crossing the charges of their defensive linemen, and they're coming out with unblocked people right down Marino's throat. And that time, the
personal foul, roughing the passer, number 94, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Scott Mercereau, number 94. Ball is well off, and
that's a foul, no question about it. I think more of those kind of things should be called by the officials. He knows Marino doesn't have the ball. There's no question about that. What right does he have to do to shove the guy?
So Miami at the 37 of the Jets. And it's the tailback Sammy Smith, and another flag is down. Joe Mott, number 51, in on the stop.
Along with Joe Mott.
Kyle Clifton did a beautiful job. He and Page are having a matchup you can't believe.
And now it's Miami, 10 of them taken back. Farrell Edmonds with a grimace.
Holding, offense, number 80, 10-yard penalty, repeat the down, first down.
Well, the arm got outside almost by mistake by Edmonds. I know Monty Clark works with the tight ends for Miami, and Edmonds has got great power, but technique-wise, he probably will never become the real sophisticated tactical blocker. But throughout this game, Tony Page and Kyle Clifton have been meeting in the hole time after time.
Page on the sidelines now as they're working on his leg. Marino incomplete, and again whistling that fastball of his right through the arms of Mark Logan. Kelly and Clifton were there. Now we get word from down below on Mark Clayton of the Dolphins. Sprained knee, will not return today. Let's hope it's no more serious than that for this athlete, who's really a joy to watch. And they're still working on Tony Page as they wrap. It appears his upper leg doesn't seem to be as serious.
Well, they need Page. He is the leader of this ball club, offensively and defensively. In fact, the Miami Dolphins voted him after 8 games. Who is our most valuable player? Page won hands down.
Underneath the Troy Stratford to the 41-yard line. Still not back to the start of the series, and it'll be third down and about 13. Mott another tackle.
Well, here comes Jim Jensen. So, and Tony Martin, here they come. So these are the guys that most likely will get this ball. That middle screen was very effective early.
Jeff Loggeman, number 56, trying to get this crowd into the game. On third and long for Marino. Jensen out of the backfield. Marino to Stratford, drops the ball. Tried to run before he'd really tucked it away. And Michael Mays, an extra defensive back there for the Jets. And Miami will have to punt. Gary
Stevens, the offensive pass offense coach for Miami, must be going nuts upstairs because there have been drop passes all over the field, something Miami has not had any history of at all until maybe this season. But people are taking their eye off the ball. There's Gary Stevens on the sideline, former Miami assistant coach at the university. People feel he's a head coach of the future, excellent football mind, and of course he's filled big shoes coming into Miami and working with Marino.
Roby handles the high snap and hits one into the atmosphere. Mathis waiting for it to come down, takes a Miami bounce and is down. And no, they say covered by Miami. It touched the jet. It touched the jet, and Miami has the ball. Greg Beatty recovered, number 84 at the 6-yard line.
The ball hit the receiver, recovered by the kicking team. First down.
Dick, we talked about the wind before the game. Here's another case of it, with the fair catch being attempted, but the ball falling crazily to the ground. You can't judge it. The punt returner can't. He has to get it out of the way, and it bounces off the punt return man.
Appeared to hit James Hasty.
Oh, it hits Hasty.
Number 40,
behind
right
him,
on the right leg as it came down, as Hasty was preparing to block.
Just can't make a judgment on that ball. It just takes crazy angles coming out of that wind.
So a big break for Miami.
Please return the play clock to 19 seconds. 19 seconds on the play clock, please. Thank you.
In the first half, Tony Martin muffed the punt for Miami, covered by Burkett at the 40, led to the Jets' field goal. So
Hasty.
Mathis trying to get some room, pushed his teammate and pushed him right into the flight of the ball.
Hasty just wasn't aware at all of where that ball was coming down. But you almost count on the fair catch. And when they didn't get it, then the ball was going to bounce crazy, and it hit Hasty.
Play stands as called. First down.
Tony Page is back in the huddle for Miami. They used to call him Pollywog when he was a teammate here with the Jets. He says he likes TP, Tony Page, the total package. I can run, and I can catch, and I can certainly block. He leads the way for number 20, Mark Logan, to the 4-yard line. Dennis Berg with the initial hit.
Well, look for Page to lead the ball carrier, and look for Miami to run the ball, because the last time they were down, we talked about them sort of leaving their game plan and right away being willing to throw in this situation.
Logan appears to be holding the back of that leg, a possible hamstring. Let's check the tackle as Logan injured on the play. Mark Logan walked off the field under his own power. Does not appear to be serious. It is 2nd and goal inside the 5, and now the character of the young defense of the Jets. A goal line stand for them.
Miami, I am sure, is going to try to force that ball down in there with a run. The last series in this situation, they had a quarterback draw, tried to throw a play pass. All they got was a field goal. Look for him to go right inside with Logan. Nope. Shotgun.
Over the middle, touchdown. It was Tony Page. Page, who had caught only 18 passes in his best year, his previous 6 seasons, and now he's right at number 30 on this year as he's become a primary target for Marino.
Well, he crossed me up. Very evident. I didn't think they'd throw here. They go right back into the shotgun. They're just going to the pass, down short.
Scott Sequels will hold. Pete Stoyanovich will attempt the extra
Page,
point.
who's their best blocker, also one of their best pass receivers, a guy they'd throw to in that situation, down in close. That means they'd have to have all kind of confidence in him.
His 4th touchdown reception, more than any wide receiver for Miami. Stoyanovich with the extra point, and thanks to a muffed punt at the 6-yard line, Miami has the lead.
The Dolphins tried to extend their lead on this 54-yard field goal attempt by Pete Stoyanovich, but he misses for the first time this year. We rejoin play on the Jets' next drive. It's late in the 3rd quarter.
O'Brien, incomplete, intercepted. Picked off by McKyer. The former 49er drops the ball. Was he out of bounds? Apparently was. On the deflection, Tim McKyer has his third interception of the year.
McKyer was just standing there and the ball came to him. Really not a very good pass. There's a blitzer from the outside, but the ball just bounces straight up in the air to McKyer, who is in the happens to be in the area.
Mark Boyer was the intended receiver, well covered.
He does fumble inbounds.
First down.
Wait, was he out of bounds when he released that ball?
I wonder if there'll be a replay on this. It's an out of bounds play.
Let's see if he's out of. Let's see if he was out of bounds.
I think the ball was out of there.
They'll take another look at that, we would think.
That ball, it looked as though that one angle we've had, that he lost the ball before he went out of bounds.
They are reviewing.
It's gone.
Yes, that's going to be the Jets' ball, number 34. Hector's going to fall on it here. And that will be the Jets' ball, I would think. Apparently, it will be the Jets' ball. That'll please this Jets crowd, who should let out a big roar when they hear the news. It's just a matter of where they're going to spot the ball. That's what the conference is about now. They're using the replay, make sure they have the ball spotted correctly. Marino with the disbelief. He gets the news. So McKyer with an interception and a high note for Miami with a 10-3 lead, and then has it stripped away, and Johnny Hector alertly fell on it when it appeared the play was over. Hector didn't take any chances. It should be the 34-yard line. That's what they're discussing. Right on the 34.
The play on the field was ruled. The player out of bounds. We had an inadvertent whistle.
Oh, the old
ball belongs to Miami. First down.
Oh my, the old inadvertent whistle trick.
Why didn't they say that in the first place?
Yeah, that is upsetting, and for coaches it must drive you crazy. If that was the case, they knew it immediately. Why did they even review it? When in doubt, inadvertent whistle. Well, Don Shula got a break there. Was right in front of the veteran headmaster of the Dolphins. So from the 34-yard line, Miami had it, lost it, gets it back again. Yep, I agree with Bruce Coslett. Thumbs down. There goes Troy Stratford all the way to the 18-yard line. You know, Bill, between the inadvertent whistle and the instant replay, maybe we could make a package and just give that to someone. There must be a needy country or a needy team or area. Just give it to somebody.
Well, this is our society, sophisticated society, I guess. But why didn't the official just come up and say, I blew the whistle? I mean, that's all it would have taken, and we wouldn't even had a replay.
Meanwhile, Stratford with an outstanding run and a first down at the 19. Final seconds, third period. Miami with a 10-3 lead.
Marino's audibling. He thinks he saw the safety up in there to blitz. He's going to throw the ball.
And he does. Complete. Mark Logan back in there. It appeared that he had a bad knee injury. He rattled out of bounds, but appears to have a first down the end of the third period. 10-3 Miami. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. I will attempt to go into this fourth quarter advertently. Dick Enberg with Bill Walsh.
I swear, Dick, I swear, I can't believe that, mate.
It's, I think the instant replay has just created more problems than it is resolved.
They had a chance to clarify something, but why would a man who blew the whistle wait until all that process is completed, then come up and say, I blew the whistle?
Because I think the instant replay has really taken some of the decisiveness away from officials on the field.
Well, at this point, I can't argue.
Meanwhile, Miami going to take advantage. They're well into field goal range with a 10-3 lead. Start of the fourth quarter. 20 clock down to 2 as Marino throws to Stratford. And Stratford all the way to the 2-yard line. James Hasty with a tackle, and Stratford's become the big play man in the short game of Dan Marino here in the second half. That's his 7th reception. Make that 8.